Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving straight into the ancient, totally transformative practice of daily scriptural meditation. We're looking closely at the very first psalm, which is kind of like the gateway to Israel's ancient hymn book. If you've ever wanted to know what the ancients believed was the absolute bedrock for a truly flourishing life, well, it begins right here. Okay, let's kick things off with a quick question. When I say the word meditation, what exactly pops into your head? Just take a second and really picture it. I bet you're picturing someone sitting cross-legged, closing their eyes, and trying their absolute hardest to completely empty their mind, right? It's super common. But here's the thing. Ancient Hebrew meditation was almost the exact opposite of that. You didn't just sit in silence. It was a vocal, physical, and highly active practice. You weren't emptying your mind at all. You were actively filling it out loud. To completely reframe how we look at this, here is our agenda for This Explainer. First, the ancient good life. Second, redefining meditation, discovering Hagah. Third, the infinity loop of delight. Fourth, becoming a portable sanctuary. And finally, fifth, the way of the chaff. Let's start with section 1, the ancient good life. So Psalm 1 opens up by describing the blessed person, but the Hebrew word used here, ashrei, goes way, way beyond a fleeting feeling of happiness that just depends on whether you're having a good day or a bad day. It describes an objective state of deep covenantal well-being and flourishing. It's literally the ancient equivalent of saying, wow, how incredibly good is the life of the person who lives like this. And what does this flourishing person actually do? Well, they delight in the Torah. Now, we often translate Torah as law, right? Which, let's be honest, can make it sound like a burdensome, rigid set of legal rules. But the word fundamentally means instruction, teaching, or guidance. It's the whole revealed will of God. The righteous person isn't just enduring God's instruction out of sheer, grudging obligation. They are actually finding their greatest joy and pleasure in hearing that divine voice. That brings us right to section 2, redefining meditation and discovering Hagah. So how did the ancients actually engage with all this divine instruction? It all comes down to this absolutely crucial Hebrew word, Hagah. This is the word translated as meditates in Psalm 1. And get this, it means to murmur, to growl, to mutter, or even to chew. Daily scriptural meditation wasn't just reading silently with your eyes. It was reciting the words quietly under your breath, letting the physical, active reality of speaking shape your subconscious reflexes. I absolutely love how vivid the ancient source material gets with this concept. Throughout the Hebrew Bible, Hagah is literally used to describe animal sounds. It's used in Isaiah 31 to describe a lion fiercely growling and muttering over its prey, just completely focused and refusing to let it go. It's also used to describe a dove mourning and cooing over its song, or a bear moaning as it eats. I mean, that is the kind of focused, visceral, low-level vocal repetition we are talking about when it comes to daily scriptural meditation. The early church theologian Augustine hit the nail on the head when he described this. He compared it to birds chattering continuously or delightfully hunting a text in the forest. You seek it out, you wait for it, and you toss the words back and forth in your mouth until you finally capture your spiritual trophy. You are quite literally chewing on the text. Moving right along to section 3, the infinity loop of delight. You see, this kind of meditation isn't just an isolated, one-off activity. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. Think of it like this. When you delight in God's teaching, you naturally want to vocalize and mutter it. That's the Hagah. This chewing leads to deep internalization of the truth. And the beautiful part? That internalization actually creates an even deeper desire. It is literally an infinity loop. You meditate on what you delight in, and the more you meditate, well, the more you delight. Next up, section 4, becoming a portable sanctuary. So, by continually meditating on the word day and night, the righteous person experiences this remarkable theological shift. Think back to the very beginning of the biblical story for a second. God placed humanity into a physical garden, sacred space in Eden, to listen to his voice. We know they failed. But in Psalm 1, the sacred space of the garden is essentially placed within the righteous person. Through daily scriptural meditation, you become a miniature Eden. You become a portable sanctuary, carrying God's life-giving instruction internally wherever you go. Having this internal garden essentially makes you like a deeply rooted tree. The original language implies you aren't just out there growing wild. You are intentionally planted by a divine gardener right next to irrigation channels.
Because of this, you yield fruit in the proper season, totally trusting God's timing. Your leaf doesn't wither, which gives you enduring spiritual vitality even during cultural droughts. And you prosper, meaning your life actively advances God's ultimate purposes in the world.
But of course, there is a flip side to all of this. Section 5. The Way of the Chaff. Psalm 1 ultimately presents us with two distinct trajectories, and you see this tragic alternative unfold in the progressive hardening of the human heart. It starts off subtle, just walking in the counsel of the wicked, casually entertaining bad advice. But then, walking slows down to standing in the path of sinners, which is a real commitment to a lifestyle. And finally, it stops completely, sitting in the seat of mockers. This is permanent identification and total absolute rebellion. The source material describes this terrifyingly as anthropogenic decreation. It sounds intense, right? Basically, rather than becoming a flourishing, life-giving tree, the wicked actively reverse God's creational order in their own lives. By severing themselves from God's sustaining voice, they literally hollow out their own humanity until nothing of enduring value is left. They become like chaff, the dry, weightless, totally useless outer husks of grain on an ancient threshing floor. They have no root, no substance, no permanency, and they are simply blown away by the wind of final judgment. Looking at these two paths side by side, it is literally night and day. On one hand, you have the enduring, fruitful reality of the deeply rooted tree, and on the other, you've got the unstable, rootless destiny of the chaff. One internalizes sacred space and stands firm in the final judgment. The other is driven away by the wind, completely perishing and losing its very purpose for existing. So I want to leave you with this final provocative question to ponder today. Because human beings are always meditating, right? We are always chewing on something. So what are you growling and muttering over day and night? Are you constantly filling your mind with the anxieties and anger of the world? Or are you actively practicing Hagah with the instruction of God? Take a really hard look at your daily mental diet, folks, because what you meditate on today is actively, inevitably shaping your ultimate destiny.